Can you imagine sitting at home in 1978 getting lulled by this soft, sensual performance, and then experiencing the jarring cuts back to Grandpa Itchy having a good time in his chair? The guard bends down to talk to Lumpy, and Lumpy bites him. Lumpy, no! It's a big city and animated, so we get loads of weird Star Wars aliens. Look at that guy. She agrees to dish out one more round on the house, and it becomes a musical. That's what happens. What the f*** is going on?
And Cthulhu will exert his power over this world.
Look at this little guy! I love him!
You've got to admit to me, that sound is enough to make a grown man cry.
What?
The idea of a real sea monster seems a little bit irrational, even though we are people who are supposed to have faith in a god who we cannot see.
We have faith in this thing we can't anyway prove, so we might as well believe in sea monsters.
We are going to defeat the globalists very bigly.
That was Trump floating alongside Alex Jones in a Superman cape. This is the best game I've ever played. My wife left me and my kid hates me. I started balding 2 years ago.
Anything badass gets censored.
Well, so far, it's not been censored. It's just been refunded.
Be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done.
Okay, that's where I'm going wrong. Stop bullying me in the comments, I can feel it. We're gonna hit like a content singularity at some point where it's like how to make content all the way down until the only content left is how to make content. And he once tried to stop the Queen watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind, claiming it was a satanic plot to seize control of her mind.
Basically a false flag alien invasion or a false flag second coming.
That picture's combined the two. It's Jesus riding a UFO like a hoverboard! Do not like the new outro! Oh dear! Soft, milky, smooth, even plump. This kind of tragically, deeply ingrained religious homophobia demands a properly insightful and academic response. So I said, number 1. You're a stinky butthole, and I hope you slip on a banana peel.
So as science develops, as we understand photosynthesis, as we understand how the universe...
Why did he choose photosynthesis as an example? What's a science word? Photosynthesis!
You look at the sunset, you go home, you look at your children. Do you ever get a flashing sign saying memory full?
No, I don't ever get a flashing sign saying memory full in my brain, like the one we created for electronic storage devices. I'm sorry, wasn't this supposed to prove God?
Historical facts for the resurrection of Jesus.
I paused it just after resurrection.
One of my temptations being consumed with money or fame or pride or anything like that, or trying to be self-righteous.
That is the most honest and self-aware thing I've ever heard an evangelical on YouTube say, ever. I might be in shock.
The Lord told us to walk away from our marketing company, and then he took us into this cryptocurrency. Well, that cryptocurrency turned out to be a scam.
You're hearing the voice telling you what to do with your life, and it's claiming to come from God, and then it turns out to have led you into a scam, and now it's trying to get you to lead your congregation into a new scheme that you are completely unqualified to lead people into. I would be thinking, mayhaps that's a demon.
God will say to do things that look crazy. He will call you to do things that look and sound rude.
God's an absolute mad lad. I'm supposed to be in court right now. It's mental.
There are no forests on Earth. They made us think that this is forest.
Why?
In perfect world, everything is fit. In our cursed hell, nothing is fit.
I feel like this guy goes from 1 to 100 really fast. Look at these semi-precious stones. Isn't it wonderful? This fucking bullshit place that we're forced to exist in. I hope he's okay.
Something about 1780 to 1815 years. We experienced nuclear war.
What? There was a secret nuclear war in the 1800s?
Remote viewing exercises have taken place for people to try and observe that which is on the moon, on Mars.
I'm seeing a lot of rocks.
Could the Bible's book of Revelation really be referring to a galactic war?
Was this book, written around 95 AD by humans, actually about a galactic war? No. The vast majority of female dishonesty happens before, during, and after relationships. Before. That's all time. A woman will never just tell you she's going to start anything with a Y chromosome and a pulse. I always perform chromosome analysis on anyone I sleep with. Hey, you're really cute. Can I get a blood sample?
Oh, well, I'm fully here. Let me just make a portal and then hop outside my body from there.
Why do I want to astral project? Because usually when I go to sleep, what I really want is to be asleep. I went through black hole and saw myself opening a gateway to technology in scrolls within my plus electric field, and I feel to multiple levels of time. Cool.
Jesus faced a challenging fate.
What's going on? He's going hiking with a crucifix. He's got cargo shorts. AI art, man. At least he's got the right number of fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, he doesn't have the right number of fingers.
Turning water into wine.
He's got earrings.
Who watched with broken hearts.
Well, they're facing the wrong way. Guys, Jesus is back there. Turn around. Why has he got, like, mascara dripping down his face? I knew I should have worn waterproof mascara to the crucifixion.
Why'd you? Because he needed to. He was giving our positions away.
Yeah, that guy was really giving our positions away by yelling. Right, guys? I know it's a serious moment, but the way he runs down this corridor towards them is so funny to me.
Hey, guys. There's aliens. There's actually aliens.
I'm definitely not going to shoot him.
Number 2.
I'm definitely not gonna shoot him. Good. Why did you even say that?
Forest in Pennsylvania. Yet when he examined the footage, there was a spooky snap of a bizarre gorilla.
That looks like a friggin' werewolf, dude. Maybe Bigfoot's not real, but werewolves are. Maybe Bigfoot has been popularized to cover for the existence of real werewolves. Do you ever think of that? As a joke, we call Safe Search the temptation toggle. We do not include the option to turn Safe Search off.
I propose we employ hypnosis to regress a member of our audience back to ancient Egypt. Any volunteers?
Oh, me, Giorgio, please.
How about...
Please, me. Yes! Human insecurity manifests as their need to believe in gods. Wow, Ancient Aliens has a really spicy take on religion. The whole aesthetic, gorgeous. Obviously, Brad doesn't agree because his face looks like he's trying to take a shit right now.
You're still gonna need to have a personality beyond the box you check on the census, babe.
He threw in a little bit of snarky gay, and it came across so fake. Oh shit, I'm meant to be doing this from the perspective of a gay man. Babe. As I continue building my business, I know I'll start getting to 10k months and higher. How the ever-loving crispy f*** do you know that? From selling crappy sales courses, where there's new competition every day, where you're training the new competition? That's insane. The banner screams Canva. Video modules, templates, checklists, and more. Checklists? Wow, it must be worth $387. Caring for others begins with self-care. In the context of a multi-millionaire spending $2 million a year on pseudoscience to increase his own lifespan, fuck off. Brian Johnson also keeps a track of his sleep patterns by using a machine that also keeps count of his erections through the night.
So Pokemon is a game that teaches children how to enter into the world of witchcraft, how to cast spells, how to fantasy role play.
What's wrong with fantasy roleplay?
Some of you can't go to heaven. Why?
He's supposed to be standing atop the green carpeted steps of the altar confessing to his congregation that he has become addicted to prescription painkillers and has taken money from the church coffers in order to finance his habit. 120 Norco filled on November 10th, another 120 filled on November 12th, another 120 on November 17th. Please do not venture to use this calculator if you cannot tolerate knowing your past life sins. Your friend was involved in a business and he got huge money with him. Out of greediness, you killed your friend and stolen his money. 2 in a row. I've hit my psychic streak. I'm attuned to the universe. Never mind. Does he still love me? Will he come back to me? Is he going to leave me? I wonder who the target audience for this service is.
A month ago, the Lord told me to throw out my $30,000 Pokemon collection because it was demonic.
Is that Sobble?
So I prayed and I'm like, Lord, what's going on? And he said, research it.
God said, do your own research. I can't believe he got a direct line to God and God said, look it up, Lord.
The show is full of witches and demons and even a gender-bending character.
Look, back the off, James. Alright? Start talking about James, the Pokemon fandom will obliterate you.
And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark.
This is such a funny moment for the jaunty trumpet to come in. God killed almost everyone on the planet. Bap, 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 bap. The kids are still in the hot air balloon and they're miles away.
This is my favorite story about Jesus.
That's cool, Sarah.
No, it's not. Shut up. I can't believe I thought this film was going to have plot. How stupid am I?
Which story did she read you?
My very favorite one. It's about the creation of the world.
I like the part where God punishes all women with pain in childbirth forever. No beta, we die like Jesus.
Why are you so passionate about sexual integrity? And I have to be honest with him. I tell him, it's because I have AIDS. Visual AIDS, and I want to show those to you right now.
I can't believe she made that joke. Lil Chris checks on him, and when Joshua says he's alright, Chris slaps him in the face. Oh, why? And Moses is like, cool, we can wait here. Time skip. What, was God, like, busy with other shit? Isn't this the main thing going on right now?
These guys just love to complain. Sure, they had enough food, but they didn't have enough water.
I'm sorry, bro, but that does seem like a valid complaint. Like, you need water to live. I feel like God should have maybe thought ahead with that one.
It's clear when you read Genesis 6 through 9, if you know anything about Atrahasis or the Epic of Gilgamesh or the Sumerian Yasudra stories, you're going to be like, oh my God, like this is the Mesopotamian flood story. Okay, I get it. In the story of Atrahasis, or the Mesopotamian flood tradition, the God that sends Enlil, the God that sends the flood to destroy humanity, is the bad guy. You have the Mesopotamian story that developed, at the beginning of the second millennium and was well known to the Judean scribes.
Jesus in hell was like...
Okay, that's my favorite Jesus. $300? They have a $300 a month tier? If that's what the angel looked like, no wonder they always say, don't be afraid. Hi, I'm a messenger of God.
In the name of Mother Mary and your Queen Cat Taurus, the Messiah, I'm Jesus Christ, understand me?
Jesus Christ famously forced people into prostitution and loved money.
I'll describe myself as a model, as a guru. Now I describe myself as a prisoner.
That's because you're in prison for all of your crimes.
You're getting married, you have some dog in a stroller like a then what are you doing?
All of these places are describing her as a trad wife, and then she's saying, yes, I'm very red-pilled, but she's not.
The people we didn't hang out with, so they've grown up now, and they're the ones making the laws. They're the Mark Zuckerbergs. They're the Faucis of the world, of fucking nerds.
Those nerds that were smart in school are the ones that make the laws now. What the do you want? And the people she described. Mark Zuckerberg, Fauci. Not the people who make the laws. I bet you'd love an accompanying silly little guy hat. Wow, that looks sharp. Of course, the look wouldn't be complete without a silly little guy t-shirt to finish the whole thing off. Wow, looks like you're really enjoying that, Jasper. What's that, Jasper? There's even more silly little guy merch available at emma-thorne.com. Oh, he's leaving. Jasper's gone. You want people to desperately need to know more information about how the world is turning so terribly demonic as it has been for 2,000 years. The end has been nigh for 2,000 years. Never forget that.
Sign of the times we are living in. We are in the end of days.
Oh, what a surprise.
Watching this event made me realize that these people are traveling on the broad road that Jesus spoke of, yet they seem completely unaware of the path they are on.
It's weird, isn't it? How everyone else is wrong.
Boy, everyone is stupid except me.
Games, for example, like Dungeons and Dragons. Photos or things that maybe you saved from your previous relationships or things that you found online.
He means porn and nudes. I literally heard the Holy Spirit to throw away a game that I thought was harmless. Snakes and ladders. 17-hour flight, no food, no water, no films, just safety instructions. Ryanair commented, we don't fly that far.
18 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh my God. I should be trying to do it like the guys do in the TikToks. I should be in the position with the expression. I think that'll make it easier. forgot to breathe. Donald Trump's running mate, yes, J.D. Vance, is an investor in the Catholic prayer app Hallow.
It came from the deep state on some level. We certainly know that the FBI was explicitly participating in some of the censorship regime in the run-up to the 2020 election.
We would never allow any content on the app that goes against the pro-life teaching of the church. Jim Caviezel, right-wing QAnon conspiracy theorist, also one of the voices of this app.
Bring Christ's strength, peace, and perseverance into your life.
Caviezel said adrenochrome in its natural form is produced by torturing children.
But those spells, they have their expiration date, and they usually backfire.
I beg your pudding?
There are scientific explanations to why people don't remember a Swift concert, but it could also be that they have been temporarily possessed.
Did you consider that it could be demons?
If a gay couple walks in holding hands, there is absolutely nothing unbiblical, nothing unchristlike about that owner refusing service to them.
There's nothing unchristlike about refusing service to two men holding hands? Do you want to try that again?
Everything from murder, theft, adultery, homosexuality, pornography, gender confusion.
No, not gender confusion. That's even worse than murder. What a beautiful picture. I call this my butcher block altar. Chopping the potatoes or scrubbing the dishes that opens up a river in my heart only to pour out at his feet. If you eat in this place, prepare to indulge in food seasoned by the tears of my gratitude.
Both man and the animals and birds were vegetarian. They didn't eat each other.
Makes you wonder why God designed so many of these creatures to be carnivores, but whatever. Dr. John Baumgartner? He's ostensibly the founder of this idea of catastrophic plate tectonics.
I believe it had to involve God's intervention to cool that rock down.
I encountered a flaw in my model and filled the gap with God. I'm a good scientist.
And those dinosaurs that were able to survive would be hunted to extinction.
Okay. That's new.
They found someone to run against you.
Pastor Dave's running for Congress?
You have the power to change things. Not me, not him, you.
You can change things by voting. Fucking brilliant.
Our country is. God's just standing in their way.
He's called Cain. There is no subtlety. There is no room for metaphor, really, on any level that requires a little bit of thinking. It's like, call him Cain, and then people will think about Cain and Abel.
I became a bad girl, just for him.
We photocopied my ass for a laugh.
Without knowing the consequences of the dark night.
Oh my god, they did photocopy her ass! I can't believe it!
This guy has coal farm and a lot of money.
Fine coal crop this year.
I've been collecting these things for the last 100 years. The tape helps me to hide from the sun. What?
That guy's the best part of this whole episode. What? I'm telling you, dream roll.
Knowing that I've been given a great responsibility.
Okay, you're not Spider-Man though. Just stop posting videos.
Really needed Jesus. Behold our God.
What the fuck is happening?
As you know, God, it is almost the anniversary of September 11th, 2001.
A real human being in real life cannot be interrupting their own apology video to pray about 9/11. This cannot be real.
I'll take y'all. I'm a rebounding king of the world.
I don't really know what to say.
You handsome fish, you. I hope you never die.
What the fuck? I'm gonna start adding that to my morning routine. Look in the mirror. I hope you never die. You know what would be an amazing topic? You in a bikini pic. Me in a bikini picture. So it's just like a store photo of a bikini. And I'm also here. But it said I murdered my friend in a past life for his money. And this person was like, so you're a bad girl.
It does represent a family feud that Donald did start by attempting to get his ailing father to sign over changes to his will. It was basically taking the whole estate and giving it to Donald. As one former senior administration official puts it, you try working for him and not chasing pills with alcohol.
Look at how they massacred Harley by making her walk like a normal person. Women do not walk like this.
Then Herod dies, and if it feels like I haven't mentioned Luke for a while, it's because none of this happens in Luke's telling of the story. Luke and Matthew both provide a different father for Joseph. Luke gives his father as Heli, Matthew gives his father as Jacob. John says that Jesus refused to be held or touched. And in Luke, the risen Jesus invites his followers to touch him to prove that he's not a ghost. Come on, bro. Touch me. See? Real as shit, dude.
Make the bed. What the fuck? You all failed! Oh no! I won. I deliberately picked all the wrong options and I won. Alright, the point where we give the eggplant a cesarean section, that's where I tap out. Russell Brand says there are dangerous signals out there that we need to be protected from. EMF, right? That people are afraid of. Electromagnetic fuckery. If putting a sticker on your phone really blocked the signals, your phone wouldn't work. Try and get me now, Connla. And then Burton starts yelling some slam poetry at Santa and Isaac. I don't know how else to explain it, that's what he does.
You fools can't see the genius that's in me!
We all make mistakes. We would have made a big one if Jennifer hadn't been with us.
Funny story, actually. We were gonna murder you. But, Jennifer told us not to, so we didn't. All's well that ends well, huh?
Jesus was an unvaxxed, home-birthed, breastfed baby, and his first guests brought him essential oils. Let's just move on. Health is a journey, not a destination. Lexus doesn't claim to cure, treat, or prevent any disease. But don't worry, his waistline, no need to stress. I'm not stressed about the Grinch's waistline, you freak. You have 2 weeks to get your hands on this amazing water. I have a tap, it's fine. I always appreciate everyone who supports me. It does not go unnoticed. If you don't support me, Sandra, maybe you're not a very good friend.